Community One Market sewer lines collapse.
Exercise African Lion preparing troops to deal with threats of violent extremism.
Mapping and markings ongoing ahead of Apiati reconstruction.
And on international front, monkeypox to be rechristened to remove Africa's stigma.
This is news on GBC News. Hello, good evening. Siyoko Kwakuchere.
Good evening. I am Shirley and Jonathan Intim will translate the news into sign language. The Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, on Wednesday launched Ghana's latest payments platform, the Ghana Pay. Ghana Pay is a bank-wide platform which gives users more access to financial services with ease and at no cost.
Dr. Bawumia said with such services, digitization improves financial inclusion and also brings financial services even closer and more convenient to the man on the street.
Ghana Pay is a mobile money service provided by universal banks, rural banks, savings and loans companies to businesses and individuals. This service comes with additional banking services designed for easy financial transactions. Even without a bank account, it is possible to register for Ghana Pay, but one can obtain a bank account with a Ghana card. With a mobile phone, everyone can register for the service by dialing *707# with a Ghana card. One can also register through bank branches and agents. The Ghana Interbank Payment Settlement System, GIPS, says the platform presents an opportunity to users to have a direct relationship with banks as a mobile money user and the ability to do more. Transfers are free except e-levy charges, and it seeks to increase financial inclusion. The Chief Executive of the Ghana Interbank Payment and Settlement System, Mr. Achihesi, said this service is to strengthen the financial institution and promote financial inclusion.
Ghana Pay presents a unique opportunity for banks to provide to the informal sector a wallet that combines features of traditional mobile money services with a bouquet of banking services.
The president of the Ghana Association of Bankers, Mrs. Mansanetti, said the banks welcome the platform to serve Ghanaians conveniently.
Announced that the service and platform will provide Ghanaians with this electronic wallet coupled with a guaranteed bank account.
The governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, said Ghana Pay will boost the accelerating mobile money service.
With Ghana Pay, merchants do not necessarily need to maintain banking relationships with several banks to receive payments from other bank customers.
The Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, said the platform is good for banks and customers to promote financial inclusion.
I see this as a huge avenue for the banks to rapidly bring more people into the banking space. Ghana Pay takes care of the bottlenecks associated with the opening of formal bank accounts, so the banks should be able to use the Ghana Pay platform to massively reduce the traditionally unbanked population.
The Ghana Pay platform is a collaboration between the Association of Bankers and the Ghana Interbank Payment and Settlement Systems under the auspices of the Bank of Ghana.
The Tema Community One Market is flooded with fecal matter gushing out from some collapsed sewer lines passing through the market. Business operators and women in the market say the situation poses a health risk. They are therefore calling for a permanent solution to the challenges with sewer lines in the market and the Tema metropolis as a whole. Our Tema regional correspondent Michael Dewonu has been interacting with some of the traders at the market.
Solid weeks now.
Wow.
We can't eat, we can't drink water because we are afraid the flies fall into your food, something different will happen. Be here, they are going up and down, digging holes, and a lot of nothing is coming. We are pleading to, to the authorities. They should come to our aid.
This is my shop. Okay. So me doshi frafienya to here. Me nyashi anopa buy nothing there inside my stomach. It's not easy. So we need money. So if they can compensate us for today, we will be okay.
Say 3 weeks in Obi Antimi Yejuma Beraha. Obia kun suto, but we mba say China. Obi Antimi ba Jomaha. Obi Antina Fie. So China betimi abano be nie. Antimi say anukora na nyanuko.
Lady be cover a whole duo na what's we have a focal. Until like why ma
it's true. The method that they use to cover the manhole, someone has come to stole it. So there is nothing covering the manhole. Yeah, so it's at the back. You can't even go and stand there. You can't even see there well. So we are really suffering over here.
Pacha 30 and tell my customers no muta dem obia ma. 50 Saturday no enyumri na epaye. 2 weeks ni e chiro ho nyina nti obi amfa ha ama ye dwa nyina egu ti yesremu ye mbe ye ni ye mai why
dada yesremu pa yesremu ye hu amande ebonso ye didi wa ha yare kwa o we yare kwa ye tumi didi iti yesremu pa mo me ye maye ye hu amande wo mo yesu a wo mo ye bio wo mo tunko gotenimu na sunu fa gotenimu nko because ye dey duane wa ha in fact, wonderful, serious. Oh, maybe your man is free. As I am tired,
for the market women and those who come to do their main issue has to do with fixing this sewer line and fixing it permanently. And so that is the situation. They want a permanent solution to this particular breakdown of the sewer line. It's been continuous every time it breaks down, but this time round they are calling for a permanent solution to this sewer system. For GBC News, my name is Michael Dawanu reporting.
On Wednesday evening, that is this evening, contractors working on the Accra-Tema motorway are to cast in concrete on the defective Lakpakpa Bridge, which is the final phase of repair works on the road. The replacement and reinforcement of the bridge will put the bridge back in shape. Minister for Roads and Highways, Mr. Kwesi Amwakun Atta, led a team of experts from his ministry to assess the state of works ahead of the casting. Reports.
It's been a few days of emergency repairs on portions of the Accra-Tema motorway, specifically the bridge over the Lakpakpa River. Though similar maintenance works were carried out in 2014, after the bridge first started to weaken, 8 years down the line, and another replacement has become imperative. But this time, engineers are repairing it to last for about 5 decades. Ongoing works is causing heavy vehicular traffic on that stretch, and engineers say they have to speed up work and incorporate modern techniques to finish and open the stretch for use by Friday, June 17.
We planned the project in such a way that we would work day and night to be able to complete the project on schedule. Well, if you have a problem to fix, there are various options that you consider. 2014, we used steel plate, but over time we noticed that it deteriorated and then it failed. So now with the method we are using, we are replacing the entire section with reinforced concrete slab.
Satisfied with work so far, Sector Minister Mr. Kwesi Amwakun said the reinforcement was urgently needed to prevent the entire bridge from collapsing.
The problem is said that it cannot be done in bits. We have to replace it now, not with metal or steel plate, because the motorway itself is a concrete road. So we want to build a concrete slab in replacement, and you can see the extensive work being done and being reinforced with the recommended type of sizes of iron rods. Normally the replacement should have taken about 3 weeks, about 21 to 28 days, because we are going to pour concrete, over it. But because of modernization, some modern methods are being used.
Following public outcry over the heavy traffic caused as a result of the ongoing works, part of the beach road under construction has been opened to traffic, and commuters are being encouraged to use that stretch as an alternative route. For GBC News, Clara Mlano reporting.
You're still watching News Hour Live on GBC News. The Director General of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, Professor Amin Al-Hassan, has been appointed onto the decision-making board of the African Union of Broadcasting, AUB. It comes at a time when GBC is championing the cause of ultra-frequency HUF band for the survival and exclusivity of free-to-air broadcasting. Professor Amin Al-Hassan will serve on the board for the next 2 years and says in that time, the GBC will be at the table when issues of broadcasting in Africa are discussed, particularly of sports broadcast rights.
Union of Broadcasting, AUB, formerly Union of African National Television and Radio Organizations, was founded in 1962. It is headquartered in Dakar, Senegal. With GBC serving on the executive board, attempts by telcos to push the African Telecommunications Union ATU to approve and allow the auctioning of space on the UHF band, which GBC is campaigning against, will gain more traction in Africa and the global space.
Basically, broadcast stations which operate on the digital terrestrial television system operate on the UHF band. Currently, there's a serious interest from telcos who are also interested in also being assigned space on this frequency. And we are saying that that should be exclusively reserved for free-to-air broadcasting, because when they crowd us out on that platform, it will mean that broadcasting can only be done on satellite. And many homes, especially middle class, lower class, and poor, will be squeezed out in accessing free-to-air broadcasting. Free-to-air broadcasting is crucial for our democracy. It's crucial to ensure that we all get the content at very little cost or no cost at all. The push is that telcos have enjoyed data services, they've enjoyed how profitable it is to engage in these transmissions, and they see the UHF band as the most available space for them to use.
AUB member countries stand to benefit from content sharing and periodic training for journalists.
AUB has a robust and very interesting plan to ensure that we start to focus on training of our staff. So we have secured a very nice edifice in Algeria, where we have designated it as training for African broadcasting. In our meeting in Dakar, we appointed a new head to head the Dakar the Algiers office, which is a very nice office for training center. And the idea is that in the coming months and years, we'll be sending our journalists across Africa to go there for training. GBC has a very good chance of ensuring that when allocations are being made for training, we'll be properly served. One of the things about AUB is that we're able to get African content for our networks. And that is why GBC continues to have very good dose of African content on our networks. And AUB is very critical to that, because it has a content sharing framework where we upload our content for other African broadcasters to take, and they also upload their content for us to take.
The issue of safety of journalists, according to the Director General, is one area that the AUB dedicates its resources to.
So we devoted a whole half day on the issue of safety of journalists in Dakar, and I think that we all acknowledge the fact that one of the issues that came was the fact that in order to ensure the safety of journalists, we have to train journalists on how to keep safe. Because they will always go out into the trouble areas, but you also have to have the skills to keep yourself safe. You don't have to wait until there's trouble and you are rescued. You have to also know how to survive in this terrain that we love to go to. So I think that we took it seriously, and the discussions, I am very convinced that in the coming months, we will rolling out some training programs, and it will include how to keep safe while delivering the news.
Private networks have a space on the AUB, but for Ghana, GBC must guarantee for a private sector organization to join, and currently, GBC is the only broadcast network on the AUB. For GBC News, Winifred Ofum reporting.
We have a weather warning, and the Ghana Meteorological Agency warns of more rains tonight, Wednesday, June 15, 2022, along the coastal cities of Accra, Kaswa, Cape Coast, and Takoradi. And so NADMO wants all citizens in these areas to be very careful and move to higher grounds. NADMO also entreats the general public to pay heed to this weather warning and act accordingly to keep safe. And NADMO is also counting on the general public's understanding to move to higher grounds. And that is a weather warning from GMET. Please keep safe, and those citizens in the coastal areas in Accra, Kaswa, Takoradi, and Cape Coast should ensure to move to higher grounds. Moving on, the Ghana Armed Forces is collaborating with the United States Africa Command in a joint military exercise.
This exercise is also part of a long-standing partnership between the United States Army, the Ghana Armed Forces, and other partners within sub-Saharan Africa. Exercise African Lion is with the theme Enhancing International Collaboration for National Security and Development. According to the Deputy Chief Staff Officer in charge of Operations and Training at the Army Headquarters, Brigadier General Michael Opoku, under whose command the training is taking place, explained that the troops will receive academic training in Ghana and Morocco.
The Americans will be leading. We'll be collaborating with them. It's a collaborative exercise that we are doing. So the Americans will be leading, and the Ghanaian instructors will be part of the training. So the academics will take 10 days. Then we'll culminate the whole thing into a field training exercise. Field training exercise is what is always known by Ghanaians as soldiers doing exercises.
The General Officer commanding the Northern Command, Brigadier General Mohammed Moses Ayi, lauded the initiative, saying the threat of terrorism should not be taken lightly. He thanked the U.S. government for its support to the Ghana Armed Forces over the years.
Extremism, that is the core objective of this exercise. So certainly it is something that comes at the right time, it's in the right direction because of the kind of threat that our country faces, especially from the north, in respect to terrorism and violent extremism.
The commander of the 2nd Security Force Assistance Brigade, Colonel Michael Sullivan, on his part, stated that the exercise is a testimony to the long-standing partnership between the United States Armed Forces and their Ghanaian counterparts. He said such collaborations are vital in dealing with the threat of violent extremists across the globe.
Obviously, the United States of America has had, experience and even recent experience in dealing with terrorism and violent extremist organizations, not only on the African continent, but globally. And we hope that this exercise brings us an opportunity to share some of that experience with the Ghanaian Armed Forces, as well as to learn from the challenges that the Ghanaian Army and Air Force are having.
Exercise African Lion begins with classroom work and lasts till the end of the month. The soldiers are expected to move to the field for some drills later in the week.
Fuel prices are expected to go up again in the next pricing window in June 2022. An energy expert at the Institute for Energy Security, Mr. Fritz Moses, explains the root causes of the phenomenon, stressing that government intervention measures must be sustainable as the GPRTU readies passengers for another adjustment in transport fares. In the past few months, fuel prices have been increased in Ghana as many times as oil prices have gone up on the global market. In the next pricing window in June 2022, A litre of diesel is expected to go up by about 11.14%, while petrol price is projected to rise by 13%. In an interview with GBC News, an energy expert at the Institute for Energy Security, Mr. Fritz Moses, explained the cause of the persistent increases in fuel prices and proposed a solution.
Although government has tried to put in place measures, they have all not been efficient in handling the crisis. I mean, it's something that we've been saying that whatever efforts that government has been putting in place in the past were things that were not sustainable. They were temporary, and looking at the factors forcing the price increases were going to be eliminated. And that's exactly where we are now.
Meanwhile, with the increases, commercial transport operators have given a hint of possible increase in transport fares as they continue to monitor the prices at the pump and other world markets. The Industrial Relations Officer of the GPRTU, Alhaji Abbas Imoru, says currently the GPRTU is sensitizing the public in anticipation of an upward adjustment in transport fares, even though no percentage has been agreed on.
Currently, the rate at which the prices are being increased to some alarming awareness that we want to create for our clients, the citizens to be aware that they shouldn't be surprised. Maybe this period is going to be the shortest period between two intervals from May and any other time from now. Unless maybe something happens whereby the current price is going to put on freeze. But when we enter the 10% threshold, yes, of course, we have no choice than to come up with a new upward adjustment. But for now, since we haven't entered into the 10%, we are creating awareness for our clients to be ready for any eventualities which come ahead of this.
Analysts forecast even higher prices amid uncertainties over the war in Ukraine.
And we throw the spotlight on the Black Star Square on landmarks tonight. The Black Star Square, also known as the Independence Square, is a public square in the capital city, Accra. This monument is a legacy of Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Ghana's first president post-independence. Bordered by the Accra Sports Stadium and the Asomdwe Park, the square often hosts the annual independence celebrations as well as other national events. It is currently the site for all civic and military parades in Ghana.
inputs from the Ministry of Works and Housing, Land and Spatial Use Authority, Electricity Company of Ghana, Ghana Water Company, and other allied agencies. Government has promised to build the green and sustainable community on equity, fairness and justice.
The land use plan has been translated onto the ground. So now we are able to pick up the whole extent of the village that we're doing. There's a core area which has about 120 plus. These have been set out on the site. We've defined the road network too, so we are ready to go. We are hoping that very shortly urban roads will come in to come and do the road network. Concurrently, we are almost completed with the pre-contract drawings from AESL. Based on that, we'll quickly go out and choose probably about 3 contractors to complete with the core area.
The chairman of the Reconstruction Committee, Mr. Benito Owusubio, said work will start as scheduled.
We are here to also verify the surveyors who have been sent to the field to do some interpretation of the layout. So at least we can have the setting out, and then when the contractors come to start the construction, they can go ahead and then do it.
The team also visited victims at their temporary location at Dumasi. Mr. Benito Owusubio told the people that they still remain a priority of government and reassured them that the collapsed community will be raised back from the earth soon. For GBC News, Clara Mlaro reporting.
The new patriotic party, NPP, has closed nominations for persons seeking to contest as national executives. Positions such as the National Youth Organizer, Women's Organizer, National Treasurer, Nasara Coordinator, National Chairman, and National Secretary, among others, are Charles were among the last group to file their forms. 2 days, that is Friday, June 17 and Saturday, June 18, 2022, are scheduled for vetting of candidates.
This is News Hour live on GBC News, your news and governance channel. We take a break. We are back with the business news. Please stay.
Hello, this is brought to you by QNet with me, Esther Edu Ohumeu. GOIL PLC's financial performance registered a profit after tax of 98.74 million Ghana cedis, up by 9% of the 2020 figure of 90.20 million Ghana cedis. As a result of this profit, shareholders of the oil marketing company will receive a dividend of 47 pesos per share. At the 53rd annual general meeting in Accra, the board chair, Mr. Reginald Lai, said the biggest contribution of sales revenue is from the two main products, diesel and super.
GOIL is a leading marketer and distributor of petroleum products, with its wide range of petroleum products distributed over 424 service stations across the country. Despite the challenging nature of the year under review, the company's volume of fuel is approximately 886.6 million litres. This is about 11% above the 9% growth of 2020. In 2021, the company made a profit after tax of 98.74 million cedis compared to 90.20 million cedis in 2020, a 9% increase. Earnings per share increased from 0.23 to 0.253. Total assets grew from 2.1 billion cedis in 2020 to 2.5 billion cedis in 2021. For the year under review, the company expanded its retail business by adding 14 stations nationwide. At the 53rd annual general meeting in Accra, the board chair, Mr. Reginald Lai, said other efforts to maintain and improve its business have been deployed.
The drive to introduce the polymer-modified bitumen (PMB) product into the market, as well as the liquefied petroleum gas (LPG) recirculation, was accelerated. The first surveillance audit for ISO 9001:2015 and recertification audit for ISO 14001:2015 were successful.
By August 2022, GOIL's bitumen plants will be fully operational. The managing director of GOIL, Mr. Kwame Osei-Prempeh, said the benefits to be accrued from its operations will boost Ghana's economy.
It's about 99.9% complete, to mean that we may not have to use our scarce foreign exchange to import bitumen from outside again.
Global technology development is moving at a fast pace, and the company says it will explore new opportunities such as the electric-powered transportation systems.
I came to inherit a strong company, and our commitment is to make it stronger. And I think we are taking every step to make sure that we improve upon performance, we improve upon the culture, and at the end of the day, we're beginning to see results.
As part of its corporate social responsibility, GOIL has identified the needs of deprived communities by providing them with potable water, health and sanitation facilities to improve the well-being of the disadvantaged. On the outlook, GOIL says it remains vigilant, diligent and focused on the key value drivers of growth.
Management of the Social Security and National Insurance Trust (NIT) has met with self-employed workers and the leadership of some religious organizations in Accra. The purpose was to sensitize them to pensions for the informal sector and to increase the contributor base of the scheme, and also provide a cushion for low-income earners in their old age. There are over 1.7 million active SNIT contributors out of an estimated workforce of 11.5 million in the country. The percentage of self-employed workers to the scheme is below 1%, made up of 14,931 active contributors. It was to help increase this number of informal and self-employed contributors to the scheme that the SNIT management met with the leadership of some religious organizations and some self-employed workers in Accra. The Director General of SNIT, Dr. John Ufuritinkran, said it was high time the misconception about SNIT being for only formal or for public sector workers was eroded. He spoke about processes involved in joining the scheme.
For these self-employed people, the mode of payment has to be streamlined and be made easier. So we are going to roll out electronic modes of payment such that you don't have to leave your place of work to come to SNIT or even to go to a partner bank to pay. But you can pay with the Momo and it will be e-levy exempt. You can pay from your bank account on the internet directly to SNET. You don't have to even to walk to the bank's branch, and so on and so forth. And we are going to make also the registration a little bit easier.
A former General Secretary of the Christian Council of Ghana, Dr. Kwabno Punifrimpong, and founder of the Worldwide Miracle Outreach, Reverend Dr. Lawrence Tete, urged SNIT to get to the doorsteps of the citizens to make the scheme very attractive and understandable to them.
Earlier impression had been that SNIT is for public, servant workers. And then there were impression that they are so legalistic. They come to you and they are quoting laws. You haven't applied this. We are sending you to court. But that is not the impression we are getting today. Now,
let's take the interbank for the day.
Nyama kwanya Lucy pra
Good evening and welcome to the energy segment on News Hour. My name is Mabel Anang. To our first story, the Deputy Minister for Energy, Mr. Frank Adu, says government can do very little about the effect of the Ukraine-Russia war on the current fuel prices in the country. The minister was in Parliament on Wednesday to respond to some urgent questions on the sector.
Sanctions and boycotts on petroleum export from Russia, a major exporter of distillate, especially to Europe, are reducing availability even further and intensifying upward pressure on fuel prices. Under the current deregulated regime in Ghana, where government is not responsible for determining the prices of petroleum products, particularly for gasoline, gas oil, and LPG, rises in petroleum product prices on the global market and the depreciation cost of Ghana's cedi against the US dollar are passed on directly to the end consumer. On the domestic front, the oil importers have to compete for forests in the open markets to import petroleum products, which they mostly get at very high rates. To help stabilize the prices of petroleum products, the government instituted a temporary forest cover for oil imports through the Bank of Ghana. As opposed to what is happening as a result of the Ukraine war, we have very little to do about it.
Would you agree that the poor performance of the cedi and the 40% tax component in the price buildup attributes for the hikes we have seen over the period?
Respectfully, I do not agree with my honorable colleague.
Still on Parliament, meanwhile, the minority believes that government can still do something about the spiraling fuel prices in the country. Reacting to the statement by the Deputy Minister for Energy, the Member of Parliament for Guma West, Mr. Richard Jan Mensah, says government can control the rapid depreciation of the cedi while it waives bust margins.
From the minister's response, it clearly shows that the ordinary Ghanaian should brace himself for price increments. As now, BOSS is operating as a private sector, charging prices which are automatically transferred to the ordinary Ghanaian. So now I am appealing that if government can actually waive off the BOSS margin which is in the pricing, this one way or the other will reduce the price. And also if BOSS is able to store enough products. Storing enough product means that even in the next few weeks, let's say in the next window, if prices are to go up, and we have enough product that can take care of us within now to the next 2 weeks, that would also help the situation. To me, the currency depreciation is the major cause of the price hike now. The currency depreciation. So the best way government can help the ordinary Ghanaian is to put in place effective measures to arrest the rapid depreciation of the cedi. If the businessman have to take the 70% shortfall, how is he going to take it? He will automatically transfer it to the ordinary Ghanaian. So we are also calling on the government, if at best, they should try to even maintain the 50% projection that they have actually also given or they have stated as being implemented.
We bring you some data on national power generation and the water level in the Akosombo and Bui Dam. I'm Mabel Anang.
The health segment of the news is brought to you by Lufat from Tobinco. The resurgence in COVID-19 cases in Ghana has necessitated a renewed campaign for mass vaccination against the pandemic. The Lejokuku Municipal Health Directorate has been educating residents of Teshi about the safety of the COVID-19 vaccines to increase patronage. The program is targeting persons 15 years and above, pregnant women, and lactating mothers.
The number of COVID-19 active cases in the country reduced drastically following aggressive public education on the disease and the observance of safety protocols. Sadly, the number of cases started going up recently as many people stopped observing the safety rules. At the last count, the number of cases nationwide was above 400. The Lejokuku Municipal Health Director, Madam Jacqueline Sfarijilani, has been encouraging the residents of Teshi to get vaccinated against the coronavirus.
This third round of campaigns that we've started, our target is 8,953, including under 15 and above, all eligible people. That includes the 15 and above, our pregnant women, and all other community members. We are targeting people who have not had the first dose, those who have had the first dose but have not had the second dose, and those who have got to take their boosters. In this campaign through the town, through Teshimami, we are hoping that they'll be more sensitized and they'll understand that the vaccines are safe, they are free, and they are easily available. They are available throughout the municipality.
The health promotion officer of the community clinic, Madam Nagis Raouf, highlighted on the mild effects of the vaccines.
Now that the rainy season has come back again, the cold, so we will be getting the flu, most of the diseases have come back again. So we should protect ourselves from the COVID and other virus that is around us has emerged in the community.
Some residents who had already taken the vaccines described the exercise by the Health Directorate as good.
This segment of the news was brought to you by Lufat from Tobinco.